All right, so cool. Top of the hour, it's 8 o'clock. This is the Entrepreneur Empire. Myself, Jules PL. We got Jaleel, the Wealth Fiend. Anne-Marie I. Oreo. You guys going to introduce yourselves? This is probably going to be for the people that are going to listen to it on the recording.
Yeah, sure. I'm Jaleel, and I guess my the name that I try to give myself is the Wealth Fiend, and it's honestly just a title I give myself because I always obsess about finances and wealth, cash flow, things like that. So I'm excited about tonight's topic because I really actually like marketing and advertising, and I kind of realized that I kind of built a brand already, so it feels like I'm knowledgeable on the topic.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie.
Hey, I'm Anne-Marie I. Oreo, and I'm a real estate investor, and I'm specializing right now in wholesaling and branching out in some different areas like terms and learning about Airbnb arbitrage coming up soon. And I'm excited about tonight also because I feel like there's a lot that I can learn and kind of master better. I feel like I want to do some things a little bit better with my branding. So I'm excited to hear your guys' expertise on this.
Cool. All right, cool. That's what's up. Hey, Jaleel, you heard those ands? I'm a real estate investor. And
Yep. I took a mental note of that.
I love it. All right, cool. So listen, at the end of this, Anne-Marie, by the time we're finished, this is my objective is this. Jaleel, you tell me if you feel the same. I at least want you to know the difference between marketing and branding and why they're both important, and maybe even a bonus would be you then being able to figure out a couple of ways that you can apply both to your business, and we'll even share ideas. I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all as far as it goes, but we'll just run it like that. So let's start with this marketing, right? So I was actually thinking about this, and I was going to say the best example of marketing I can give is an example that I learned. I don't even remember how far back I learned this, but it's when I was first introduced to the idea of marketing, and it goes something like this. So this is what marketing is. Imagine if you've got a circus, right? So the circus is coming to town, and this is your circus. So you come to a town, you paint a sign, and it says circus coming to wherever on such and such day. That's advertising, right? That sign that hey, the circus is coming, that's advertising. So now if you take that sign and you put it, let's say you slap it on the butt of an elephant, and then you take that elephant and you walk it down the main street in the middle of town, that's promotion. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, if let's say that elephant, then let's say he goes off track, he runs into the mayor's flower bed, and he messes up his rose garden or something, and the newspaper ends up writing about it. That's publicity. Now, if you then go and you get the mayor to laugh about that, that's public relations. That's PR. Right? It's all facts. So then let's say, so now that Saturday comes, everybody comes to the circus, all the people from the town come to the circus, they're buying tickets, et cetera, et cetera. That's sales. Now, if you planned for all of that to happen, that's marketing.
That was a great explanation.
I always thought it was a great explanation. Like it just makes sense, right? So marketing is not just like marketing isn't just advertising. It's not just promotion. It's not just publicity. It's not just public relations. Some people don't even tie it to marketing to public relations, but it 100% is. And it's also sales. Sales is a part of, the marketing operation. So really at the end of the day, marketing all just comes down to planning all these different, aspects of it to work out for your business. Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So then let's talk about brand. Jaleel, you're familiar with brand because it's something I've seen you build up many times. First, let me start with what brand isn't. Brand isn't your logo. Brand isn't like people might say, Nike is the Nike Swish. The Nike Swish isn't the brand. Or some people might say, what brand of soda do you like?
Mm-hmm.
I like Coca-Cola. that product, that particular Coca-Cola product, is not the brand, right? Brand at the end of the day comes down to, and Jalil, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but brand is reputation. Brand is the feeling that people get about your product or about your service or about your company based on whatever results it is that you deliver, right? So Coca-Cola has delivered X amount of results over X amount of year, over Y amount of years, right? And they've poured a lot of money into doing that. So now when people think about Coca-Cola as a brand, they all get a particular type of feeling. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because every single individual, every single person is going to have their own particular feelings about your brand, right? The same way somebody would have a feeling about you as a person, about your reputation. Different people might feel different ways. Your job as the brand owner is to try to corral all of those impressions that people have of you, all that reputation, all that feeling, to try to corral it all together as close as possible to what you want, or as close to the result as you want as possible. And it's interesting because when they talk about branding, Emery, you might know this, like livestock, right? Back in the day, I don't know if they still even do this, but back in the day with cows, right, or cattle, they used to brand them, right? They used to take a hot iron or a hot piece of metal and then like stick that into the side of into the skin, and then that way people would know, hey, this cow is for such and such.
A branding iron. Yep.
A branding iron. There you go. Exactly. So it's really the same concept when it comes to branding from a marketing perspective, because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to corral all of people's everybody's feelings as close as possible. Me personally, I don't like Coca-Cola, but that's just me. There's thousands, if not millions, of other people out there that Coca-Cola does feel like they've brought into their little, into their little hive, right? Into their little thing. So that's what branding is. Branding at the end of the day is just your reputation, and the feeling that people have about your product, your service, your company. And your job is to just, bring all that together. So with that being said, branding and marketing aren't the same thing, but one does work, one does benefit the other.
Right.
100%. And I would like to further add that branding deals more with, like, I want to say what people can expect. So marketing is, the campaigns, the outbound, inbound, outbound advertising, calls, things like that, offers. They're more active, and then the branding is typically like, the status or the promises that people make, the company's mission. So for instance, how you look at Starbucks and you think somewhat luxury, or like it's like an upper echelon of, you carry the Starbucks cup, and people, you have like that uppity feeling towards them, if that makes sense. And you think about, first thing you think about, I guess, is the company's reputation and personality on it, like, if that's a proper word for it.
Yeah.
So you look at Popeyes, and they're known for chicken and everything, but they're also known for, are they known for good or bad customer service? What do you guys say? Do they have a branding of good or bad customer service?
Popeyes?
Yes.
You already know. Popeyes is,
I don't know. Yeah. I would say not high end, but I don't know about their customer service,
Oh, you don't know about Popeyes, so you wouldn't. So if I asked you, how's Popeyes customer service to you, your answer would be you wouldn't know.
Right.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, but check this out, Jalil. That's actually that's valid data right there. That's valuable data. Let me tell you why.
Right.
The fact that she doesn't know, the fact that she doesn't have a actual distinct opinion about it, is a failure on Popeye's part.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, you're right.
Because ask her that same question about Chick-Fil-A.
Oh. Yeah. So that was where I was going, but I was going to say McDonald's as well. But yeah. So Chick-fil-A's reputation. What do you think about that one?
Oh, top notch, excellent. Yeah. Customer service. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and that's their branding. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been very. Listen, Chick-fil-A has been extremely intentional about that result. That's the result that they wanted. That when people think about their customer service, they're like, "Oh yeah,
But I would have to say, you guys, that it's by word of mouth. like how everybody says that about them, and then you experience it also. Like
Right.
it for me, it hasn't been um that like a commercial by them. It's been my experience, the way that um they will treat the customers and the way that they speak to the customers. And then I think so many people get that feeling about them. So when you ask about like, hey, where's a good, fast food place to go? Oh, hey, Chick-fil-A. People love Chick-fil-A.
Now,
Not only is the food good, but the customer service is, really top notch.
so the question, so one thing I noticed that you said a couple of times is you said that, okay, so it's been word of mouth. They haven't used commercials, but then you hear it from somebody, people hear it from other people, and then they experience it. That
Right.
just tells me that they've been consistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they've been consistent, it's because they were intentional about that. The reason you don't know, the reason when he asks you, yo, so what's the customer service like at Popeyes? I'll tell you why the answer for me would be I don't know, because I've been to some Popeyes where it's not bad, and I've been to others where they might as well have just thrown a box of chicken at me.
Right. Same thing with Wendy's. Wendy's, it's like it just depends on which location you go to. But with
So they've
Chick-fil-A,
left it.
every single location, they have their standard and they uphold that standard.
Exactly. So that's that part of brand where they've decided, okay, we're gonna try to keep. Our intention is that people love love the customer service experience. So the majority of people, listen, there's one or two people out there that might say, hey, I went to Chick-fil-A and had a bad experience, but that's going to be the anomaly and not the standard. The opposite could be said for Popeyes. The majority of people are going to say probably, Popeyes isn't. Why? Because Popeyes just kind of left it up to, you know what I mean? They don't put as much effort into customer service as a Chick-fil-A does.
Right.
What do they now? When you think about Popeyes, what do you like about Popeyes? Because despite them not having the same customer service as Chick-fil-A, people are going there. What reason are people going there?
The chicken.
But everybody's got chicken. What's so great about their chicken?
It's majority of the time it's crunchy and tastes amazing.
Brand.
Yep.
I mean, they revolve everything that they do, all their commercials, everything. Basically, they've decided to put all their resources and energy into that. Okay, let's put it into the taste.
Which is crazy to me, but I guess it's working. They're still here.
Yeah, they're still here. It is. You know what I mean? They've done the math that, hey, if we wanted to pay people a little bit more to have staff that's that basically is a little bit more qualified, or I don't know what the word is, but basically staff that would take, because listen, Chick-fil-A, they're damn near giving out scholarships to their staff, right? Like Chick-fil-A, you not just any Joe Schmo can work at a Chick-fil-A. Plus, they pay a little bit better. These are all factors that they've priced into their strategy, into their marketing strategy, branding strategy, all the above. So how does all of that apply to us? That applies to us because as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we have to be very decisive about what it is that we want our brand to be out there in the market.
Absolutely. And I can speak to this firsthand because I guess I had more of an
Did you guys
Anna.
have a glitch there, or was it just me?
No, I'm good. No, I can hear.
Okay. Can you hear me, Ann?
Yeah, I can hear now. It went silent for a little bit.
Okay, gotcha. I said I can pretty much speak to this firsthand because we've kind of established a reputation, especially with, even though it's it might be small on a smaller scale, it's a very small group of friends and family members that use us, on a regular. Like we're the only moving company that they call, and it feels really good because we can get there and we can, like, my guys are, it's not really me, but my employees, they can get there and act like complete jackasses, excuse my language, but they can act like complete buffoons, and they will still hold us in high regard because of how highly so many other people that they know in their circle has spoke of us. And I say that, and I've noticed it because we went there, my guys were late, they were this, they were that, but at the end of the day, we still upheld our reputation of making sure that nothing was broken for them. Doing our best to be as fast as possible. They sometimes let us know their budget up front, and we always try to work with them as best as we can. So we kind of built the reputation of not that we're always going to be there on time, but we're going to give them honest pricing, and we're going to do our best to move efficiently so that I feel as though they're getting their best value for their money. So and I value that a lot more than I guess the punctuality of it at times. But to remedy that, I've actually changed something in my business model to give them a better expectation of our punctuality, so I don't just leave it up to chance and everything as I used to. But it definitely feels good knowing that these group of friends and family members they rely on us, and it's a and that's our reputation and I guess our company personality to be kind and things like that, crack a joke, things like that. They might be in a stressful situation, and we try to make it better. So
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, Amory, what brand do you want for your business?
What you had said you noticed, honesty, integrity, and looking out for the customer and the buyer, my cash buyer and my customer, my seller.
Okay, so how do you plan on promoting, like expressing that? How do you plan on expressing that that's what you're on, expressing that brand, that reputation? How do you plan on getting that out there?
So I need to do more with my marketing. I did put on my business card, I put a statement about that. There was one other, on my website, it states that, but not everybody gets to see that. So I need to do more with my marketing and pushing that out there. And one step is going to be, I want to definitely start running some ads on Nextdoor, which is my local area. And that is something I need to add to how I state what I do. But I also want to be careful because I don't want to say too much, and sound like I'm trying to explain myself too much. I want it to be nice and concise, but that's an important part, and I feel it's really important for wholesaling because you have a lot of shady people out there. So I want them to know that, like I put in my mailers, I put that we're a family run business because I think that's important. Yeah, definitely. People, when I send mailers out, like I'm doing mailers right now, I had noticed before when I had run an ad and it was my AI real estate investing ad, and somebody responded and said, oh, why don't you just go, work with other people because you guys are just trying to buy up all the properties. Like they were seeing it as like a hedge fund. And I don't want people to see that. So I like to put in there that we're not a small business. I don't necessarily put that, which I don't mind putting that because we are a small business, but that we're a family run business, because then it gives them more of the sense of that closeness rather than just a big corporation feeling.
What's a family owned business that how should I put this, that maybe might be on a national scale, or like a family owned business that myself and Jaleel might know, a family owned business that might be a household name?
It's funny, I can't even think of one, honestly.
I know there are ones out there. Trying to think of it on the spot might take a few minutes.
All right, give me an example of one that's local to you then.
One that's local to me. Well, a garden center, it did shut down, but that was a big garden center in our town, and that was family run. So you know that you're like, it's definitely a feeling of also bringing your kids into the business, and I like that feeling, and I think a lot of people like that feeling, that they know that you're passing it down into the generations.
How did you know that business was family owned?
Because of the people going in there and the people that work there.
Okay.
Like it was a husband and wife. I really don't know past that,
Okay.
but I know it was a husband and wife
Give me an
business.
example of a family-owned business that's in your area or local to you that the only way you knew that they were a family-owned business was through their some sort of marketing or advertising.
Hmm.
Let me think for a few minutes.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jill.
Okay.
I guess one car detailing one, but they're on a very small scale.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
But
Because here, the scale, because where I'm trying to get to is the scale or the results that they're getting with that isn't necessarily the point here. The point here, what we're trying to do is if Anne Marie has decided that if integrity and honesty are key as far as what she wants to put out there, then she should then now start to look out there and model businesses that she sees around her that actually express
Yeah.
hey, we're family owned. So now she needs to pay attention to how do I know that business is family owned. Okay, once she figures out how she knows that business is family owned, she then needs to emulate that same expression, whatever it is, in her marketing, right? She then needs to incorporate that into her marketing. Why? Because then she knows it works, because it worked on her.
Right. Yep.
There's a local here in Florida, in the state of Florida. They might be going a little bit more national, but in the state of Florida, there's an attorney. Basically he's an attorney. He goes way back. This is one of these injury attorneys. He goes all the way back to who knows when. So when you think about injury attorneys, obviously, injury attorneys, that alone has its own brand, right? That alone has its own reputation. Some people call them ambulance chasers, whatever the case. But this particular attorney, way back in the day when he started, his thing was, it's a shame because he must not be a good example because now I can't remember his name, but that's not his fault. It's my fault. I'm just getting old and like my memory isn't the same. But anyways, this particular guy, he's based out of Orlando. He's been around for at least 20 years. Even when I was in high school, I remember seeing him around, and he grew large. His firm grew larger, larger, and larger. And now what's happened is he's added. Let's just say his name is Goldberg, whatever. So now what he's done is he's now expanded his law firm to Goldberg, and Goldberg, right? Because why? What happened in all his commercials? You see his sons. His sons grew up. They're attorneys now. They're in the business, right? And now I know that just the fact that I know that means that his marketing and his branding in that aspect has worked. Just the fact that I know that his sons are in the business with him, it works.
Yeah, that's a good example, and a big example is like many contractors. It might be so and so and sons, carpenters, painters, and it's a family business because they've put it into their name.
Right.
Yeah.
So if again, and I think that's smart on your part to say, hey, family is one way that I can express integrity, because where there's family, you're going to assume that there's family values, et cetera, right?
Right.
There's some sort of legacy that's happening. If there's legacy, there's experience, there's consistency. All of those things would be conducive to your goal as far as being known at AI. Do you mind if I say the name of your company?
Oh, please
Well,
do.
actually, you say it because I don't want to mess it up. You say it.
AIREI, which is AI Real Estate Investing.
There we go. Perfect. So as far as the reputation of AIREI, I'm not telling you to change your name to AIREI and Sons, but obviously in your marketing, you've already, I think you've already picked it up that, hey, all right, maybe I should, if I do an ad, maybe my whole family should be in the ad. Right.
Right. Yeah.
If you decide to do email marketing, in your email marketing, maybe talk about your family. Right. Okay. These are all different ways that regardless of what you do, whether it's advertising, whether it's promotion, whether it's publicity, whether it's PR, they should all center around family values, et cetera, et cetera. They should all hone in on the message of there's integrity here and there's honesty here.
Yeah. And not only email marketing, but like even on Facebook when the story, I could be doing things like where I'm kind of working with my family, doing a quick little story, some little shots of us working together,
And in that manner, you've made it intentional. You're now Chick-Fil-A and you've decided I want people to know about my customer service.
So branding is making an intentional reputation.
Branding is reputation, and you as a brand owner are intentional about keeping people as close to the reputation that you want to have as possible.
Okay.
Some people are not going to like you, Anne-Marie. You know that.
Yeah, you
right?
can't please everyone.
Exactly. You can't please everyone. But
Right.
and you know what that brings us to? That brings us to the idea, the topic of target audience, right? Because you can't please everyone. So you do have to, as a business owner, it would behoove us, unless we're in a business where we're just working at scale, and it kind of, I don't know, even then it's not necessarily the right way to go. But you typically want to have some sort of target audience that, hey, these are my people, right? These are my sheep. These are the people that are going to listen to that need me, and they're going to listen to my voice.
Yeah.
Right. And then once you've got that, that's, from there, you'll always get people outside of that target audience. But at least you can focus all of your resources into, just because otherwise into that one little segment, because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to spread yourself thin. You don't have the budget that you mentioned earlier. People, a guy saw whatever it was that he saw, he assumed that you were one of these big time hedge funds or whatever. Right.
Yep.
You don't have the budget that those had. You don't have the budget of like We Buy Ugly Houses, which come to find out is a franchise. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, we actually, I wouldn't say we compete with them. The company I work for is a franchise company, and then so in the midst of all of that, I realized that those guys are franchises. But anyways, you don't have the budget that they do in terms of marketing to everybody, just going all out. So you would be better served focusing on a very particular segment, using a very particular reputation or a very particular branding strategy. And then, then you'll most likely get the results that you want to get with the people you want to get it from.
Yeah.
Does this help?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's a niche, finding a niche, right? That you're marketing to.
Yeah, you find your little pocket.
But then using your reputation and making it intentional with your marketing to that niche.
Like Jalil, with your moving company, do you have a niche?
We don't actually, which is kind of weird. We honestly, we just service everybody that comes. Well, as long as it's not like a small job or something like that, we service them.
How has that served you?
It has not served me the way I would like it to. Adversely, it would be better if I narrowed it down and said, hey, we only do luxury apartments, or hey, we only do senior I don't want to say senior people or elderly customers, something, you know what I mean?
There's one caveat I would say to what you just said. And this is just from my perspective as a marketer. I would never say we only do. I would say we're really good at.
Oh, right.
We're really good at serving elderly people. We're really good at luxury, or I don't know what the different segments are in moving, but you understand the point. So that way, people aren't necessarily excluded from what you offer, but that are in that segment would immediately recognize it.
Or you're really good at general moving, and you can focus on luxury homes also, or helping elderly, moving.
Because otherwise, what might happen, and I've heard you complain to this effect, is that you're competing on price, right? If you're not competing if you're not competing, because if you have a niche, price doesn't matter. Jalil, right now, if you had a brain aneurysm, would you want to go to would any doctor do?
No.
What kind of doctor would you specifically need or want?
Neurologist.
I didn't even know it was a neurologist. I was just gonna say brain surgeon, but exactly.
Right.
Right. You would want a specialist that, hey, that's what I need. I need that specifically. At that point, would price matter?
No.
So that's where niche, it's not to say that if you don't have a niche, you won't succeed. But it's my belief, and from what I've experienced and what I've witnessed, business owners and entrepreneurs go much farther, much quicker if they have a niche. Otherwise, you might end up doing a bunch of moves for any and everybody. The other thing too is you then end up not being able to specialize in any particular thing. Because let's say you were moving pianos all day for a year straight. At the end of that year, dude, you'd be much better at moving pianos than the guy down the street that might have only done it once or twice that year, right?
Very true.
All kinds of techniques and da-da-da. You, like, for example, sometimes I've heard you talk about like how sometimes your guys, they might drop certain things, they scratch this, they scratch that, da-da-da. Imagine if your guys were used to doing one particular type of move, would they get better at that particular type of move or worse?
Oh, definitely. They would definitely get better.
Exactly.
And that's probably the issue that we run into is a consistency aspect.
There goes that word consistency again, right? So I just chopped that up. Consistency. So if you're consistent at something, you definitely get better at it. Chick-fil-A has gotten much better at customer service at this point than anybody. I don't know that anybody's going to catch up with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Go ahead. I had a thought when you were talking about that with Jules or Jaleel. I'm sorry. If you were to move into a niche or say you got your guys to where they were really focused on not breaking, not scratching, not doing any of that, you could actually put that in your name. You could make it like this is corny, but just for lack of thinking of a better name, Gentle Hands Movers, or you know what I mean? Something that helps the customer feel that you guys are really careful with the way you move things and with your moving company.
You know what just came to my mind is like, you ever seen those signs in a warehouse where it's like 20 days without an accident, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you did something like that. Like if you did something like, hey, we've done 112 moves with no breaks, or something to that effect.
And give you guys a little bump or a little bonus or something for not breaking anything, not scratching anything. Like give that incentive to where you can create that that level of achievement for them, so that if you wanted to focus on that, within your business.
Right. Everything we're describing here are ways that you can bake in to your business whatever it is, your niche or brand that whatever your brand that you want to identify, that you want people to identify about you. That's how you bake it into your business.
Definitely, yeah, and that definitely makes sense. I've thought about things like that, and we used to, really be back when we were really big. When I had 12 or 11 employees and everything, we used to be really big on things like that. Trying to incentivize people and all that. I've kind of grown, got down on it a little bit because I kind of realized that the demographic I was in. They would they were fine with not getting a bonus. They were like, okay, I don't need a bonus if I don't break anything. I'll just come to work and I'll do what I want to do anyway. Those kind of people I don't hire anymore, but at the time I realized that was their frame of attitude on it. So
yeah, you were saying you do have a little bit of a challenge in your area finding the people who have the higher integrity with their work ethic. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
So it sounds like we got. Go ahead, Anne-Marie. Sorry.
But you could put that in your, like when you're looking for a worker, an employee, you could put that in your requirements, so that they
They try to have more care.
Yeah, that there's a level of integrity that they have to be aware of when they're working for you.
Yeah, if you think about any job application that you've ever filled out or job position that you ever went after, the things that they talked about in that job description, there's always that one part where they're like, we're looking for people that are such and such, such and such, such and such. Those things that they've stated are the things that they take important, that they want baked into their brand, typically.
Yeah. Yep. This is really great. I really like this episode. I don't know if that's the right word, but this chat.
Especially because what you kind of said with the incentivizing thing really stuck with me. I think that I think that companies, they uphold their reputation through the use of incentives and incentives and demerits on things like that.
Yeah. Going back to Chick-fil-A.
Did we lose you, Anne-Marie?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
No, she was talking and
Can you hear me, Jules?
And she is.
I can hear you. Yeah, you were saying going back to Chick-fil-A.
Going back to Chick-fil-A and thinking of the different seasons and the way the company treats the employees. I don't know if in your area it's this way, but it probably is because it seems they're pretty consistent. In the wintertime, when they're working outside, like when it was during COVID and they were working outside, they had heaters, so the workers could go up to the heater and warm up.
Yep.
In the summertime, they have this water thing that gives off a mist of water and fans so they can go up and they can cool off. That's taking care of your employees. So even if they don't have bonuses, the employees, there are just ways that they're taken care of well. Good pay, being taken care of when they're working out in the outside environment. But most likely they probably have incentive and bonuses also if they do those things for their employees.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Chick-fil-A was, and to your point, Anne-Marie, yes, I have seen that. Not the winter part, but I have seen the mist that they use. And all that. I've seen that down here in Florida. I've seen that for sure.
Yeah,
totally agree with you that again, that's another way that they've baked it into their business that all the way down to their employees. Right? It starts at the top and it goes top down. Whatever the values are at the top, the people at the bottom are going to feel that. If there aren't any values at the top, there won't be any values at the bottom. So
right.
they've baked that in that, hey, we care about our staff, and in turn, our staff cares about us. But what I was going to say too is, I want to say they're the first company, at least the first fast food chain that I knew, that would actually have the staff go out to the car.
Yeah.
Like with the digital during COVID in particular. Like, all right, you guys can't come in. All right, we'll come out to you.
Or when it's busy.
Or when,
and that's their customer service.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Move it along quicker. Yeah.
And then I started seeing a couple other. They got Pollo Tropical up by you guys, or Tropic Grill. No,
no, never heard of that one.
Okay, but there's a couple of other chains that are somewhat regional that I've seen, at least out here in Florida, that I only started seeing them do it after I saw Chick-fil-A do it. Right. So again, like there are things as a brand owner, I should say, that you're going to do that are going to be outside the box that might be particular to you. You'll know you're getting results, or you'll know it's working when you start seeing other brands doing the same thing.
Yep, they're emulating it.
Absolutely.
Rather than copying it, they're emulating it because they see it's a good thing, and how can we do that with our employees and make it a good environment?
So so at the end of the day, I feel like that's branding, right? Like I said at the beginning, branding is not your logo, right? Your logo, at the end of the day, your logo is just how should I put logo? So if brand is reputation, logo is your face.
Okay.
Right? Logo is, you see it and you immediately recognize
face of the business.
Yeah, correct. Right? You immediately recognize. So like me as a person, and this is just me being like just the type of person I am. If a company has, I hate to say this, but if a company, typically, if I see a small business in particular, if they have like it's not even that it has to be a bad logo. It doesn't have to be the greatest logo in the world. But if I don't see a lot of effort in your logo, if I look at your logo and I'm like, and I walk away thinking they didn't put effort into that logo, I start thinking that you don't put effort into anything else either.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. If it's amateur, if it's amateur quality.
Yeah. It could either be lack of creativity that you then feel, or it could be that they're just not wanting to do better with their logo. Right.
For me, it's that part. Because I've seen some logos that even, like, matter of fact, the two logos that I shared with y'all, that the guy made for Entrepreneur Empire, right? He put effort into those logos. Me and Jaleel were talking about it earlier. Like, there's effort in those logos, right? So, even if Jaleel and I aren't crazy about the logo, we see effort in those logos. There's logos that I see that there's no effort. It's not even that they're bad logos. There's just no effort. It's like, they had their little cousin do it, and he didn't even give them revisions. He was just like, here. They just took it and stuck it on the side of their truck. Like, for me, that's a turnoff. Now, could I be wrong about how they feel about the other, or about how they handle their business, the other aspects of their business? Absolutely, I could be wrong. But that's my first impression. It's no different than if you walk up to somebody and, something about their face is, and if they're, I'm not talking about how good looking a person, good looking they might be. I'm talking about, are they clean shaven? Are they, did they brush it? Do they look like somebody that brushes their teeth? All of these things, they're all first impressions, and so that's where a logo is important, because again, it's just the face of your, that's where you're, as far as people's first introduction to you or your product or your service or whatever, or your company, your logo is going to be the first thing they see, typically.
Yeah, and there's definitely a difference between simplistic and just not professional and just letting it stay not professional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and on the topic of logos, at the end of the day, I forget who the dude is. He's some famous designer or whatever. His thing for logos is what I remember is a logo just has to be, at the end of the day, be three things. It got to be simple, it got to be appropriate, and it got to be memorable. Like simple meaning the Nike swoosh, that'll work on a watch, that'll work on a shoelace, that'll work on the side of a building. So in other words, it can scale. It's simple enough that it can scale to whatever. It's actually not even by simple. He meant like in terms of like physical. Like it's something that can be reproduced almost at any scale. Right? It's not super intricate where if they try to put it on the side of a building, they'd have to spend more money because there's all these little tiny details. No, it's
right.
Appropriate meaning if you've got a landscaping business, I shouldn't see. I don't know. I shouldn't mistake a landscaping business with a barbecue restaurant. Right? Each should have like something that with the barbecue restaurant, I should see like a pig or fork or I don't know, whatever. I shouldn't see a lawnmower.
Right.
It should be appropriate to. That's why it's got to be appropriate. And then memorable. Hey, if I do see a pig and the pig's wearing, I don't know, moccasins.
Lipstick.
I don't know, lipstick. There you go. If he's wearing lipstick, I'm gonna remember that the next time I see it.
That or not too difficult to where it's hard to remember.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like where it's
it's
so bland that you won't remember it.
Right.
Like if you're a plumber and your logo is a wrench, well, okay, like, or I don't know, a pipe or something. I don't know, whatever. But you understand my point. Or if you're a basketball team and your logo is a basketball.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's kind of like, all right, okay, So logos, at the end of the day, logos are like just the very surface of brand. So.
And that's where I was confused back a little ways, was between the logo and the brand and how to differentiate them.
Yeah, no, and a lot of people are, but logo, it's almost like what we talked about with that circus. Logo is part of a brand, but it's at the end of the day, the logo. When I see a Nike logo, I then think about the reputation that Nike has. So all the logo did was point me to or identify the brand, and then it's on me to have a particular feeling about that brand.
Now, what is Just Do It? What would you categorize that as?
That's their slogan.
Slogan, okay.
Slogan, yeah. So, speaking of slogans, what's AIREI's slogan?
Yeah, this is something that I want to get together, because just as we were talking about last night on our mastermind, where I felt like I couldn't express or explain my business well enough, but what's the word I'm looking for? Not swiftly, but just kind of like a brief, effective, explanation. My slogan is something I kind of need to get down also, because my impression, my reputation, I want that to be about my values and my integrity with how I treat people, work with people, and run my business. So my slogan, I kind of feel like I want a little bit of that in it. But I also feel like it should be about a quick thing with how I can help people with their home as an investor. I did at one point have, we help people with problem properties. But problem properties isn't always going to fit for a lot of people. It might not be a problem property. It's maybe their problem. They're having a problem with their situation, but they might not see their property as a problem. I don't know. Do you think that's a good?
So this is where niche. See, so the thing about niche is you've got to give up something, right? It's opportunity cost. To in saying yes to one thing, and it's not that you're saying you won't serve other other types of property owners, but you are saying yes, I'm great at this particular kind.
Okay.
So in your slogan, and here's the thing, your slogan doesn't necessarily, you don't have to, I guess that's a choice you can make. All right, let me put it this way: a choice you can make is whether or not your slogan is going to do two things for you. One is going to immediately help people identify what the reputation you want to walk away with is. So your slogan is going to have something to do with family. We treat your family like our family. Or your problem is or if you're going to identify the very specific problem that you solve for people. You could do both of those, or you could decide to just do one.
Right.
Right. So it could be, hey, your problem house is my problem house, or whatever. Right. Like you decide how you want to approach that, but at the end of the day, your slogan has to touch one of those two bases.
Right. Right.
If not both. It's not something you're going to come up with overnight, or maybe it is. Maybe it's something you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and your subconscious says, hey, this is what it is. Right? Ideally, but it's worth giving some thought at the end. At a minimum, it is worth giving some thought that, hey, when I say this expression, and remember, we're not talking a paragraph. You said just do it. That's 3 words.
Right.
What's Reebok's slogan?
Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know what Under Armour is either.
We protect this house, I think, or something to the effect of protect this house. I think it's protect this house. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that thing is protect this house, which I haven't seen them use a lot recently, but early on they were big on that. Which is appropriate for the type of products they did early on. That's probably why they stopped using it. What's just off the top, what are some of y'all favorite slogans? What slogans jump out at y'all?
I like my company slogans. For my moving company, my cleaning company.
What you got? Oh, you dropped off.
Yeah, I don't know what's going. Can you hear me?
That's in suspense.
Yeah, super.
Now we can. Yep.
Yeah, we.
I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi literally just keeps going in and out. I have no idea what's going on. Like, honestly, it just happened just twice just now. But my moving company slogan is the way to move, the way to care, and then my cleaning company is where it's all about you.
So how did you let's start with the moving company one. How did you come up with that?
The moving one, I believe.
Again, by the way, say it. What is it?
The way to move, the way to care.
The way to move, the way to care. Okay.
Yep.
So tell us about it. How did you come up with that?
I think I was looking up slogan examples, and I think it was something similar to I think it was like with speed. I think it was more speed, but I changed it from speed to caring, and just went with it like that.
So what do you want when people hear that or say it? What's the result that you want them to walk away with?
I want them to to think that we care about moving their items safely, and then for the cleaning one, I'll always stress and emphasize satisfaction. So we have like a cleaning company, we have like a cleaning guarantee, things like that. So we use that in tangent with it to try and say, hey, what at the end, like pretty much, and it also goes hand in hand where we say, at the end of every cleaning, we always do a walkthrough. So it's all about how they feel about the cleaning. So we always have a satisfied guest, if that makes sense. So essentially, from the beginning to the end, we always try to cater to their satisfaction, and that's also a ploy to try to get recurring cleanings, which is kind of successful. So it's just to always cater to them and make them feel as though we're at your beck and call. We're truly customizable. We'll go the extra mile, things like that.
Okay, so it sounds like it served you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the cleaning one has, the moving one hasn't as much, but that's a fault on my part. It's not as if the slogan or my guys did it. It's my fault. I kind of checked out mentally on that business.
We're gonna, you know what? That's a topic I want to go into in one of these episodes or events that we do. I want to go into that.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I mean, I always keep it transparent.
Yeah, and I think that's the value of like what we're doing here is that we are being like 100% transparent. And I feel like when people come back and listen to these, they're, assuming they go back to like the first couple that we've done as this scales out, they'll see like this is real. We're not we're not sitting here fabricating nothing. Like this is 100% real. Emery,
Right.
you feel like if I'm not mistaken, like if I feel like that one of your takeaways should be, all right, I need to work on my slogan.
Yeah. I'm looking over. I really do like your problem is our problem, or let your problem be our problem. I like that, but I'm kind of looking at a couple. But yeah, I do want to get a slogan. I feel like this is something I need to nail down because it helps me to express my business better, and that helps to build my confidence, because when I can express it to where people understand it and really get a gist for it right away, and it's not confusing, like, so what do you do? Not that anybody feels that way, but I want to be able to explain it more concisely, and it will help me. It'll help me with feeling at times more confident with certain people that I approach.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead, Jalil.
I was also going to mention, just like to the fact, I don't really know what Chick-fil-A slogan is, but I mean, honestly, the slogan, it really only matters if you're employees and you uphold it. You know what I mean? It's like it's contingent on performance as well. It's not really just make it and done. But I had to learn that with my business. It don't matter. Way to move, the way to care. And I was hiring hoodlums, or people that didn't really care. The slogan was irrelevant.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I feel like the slogan is kind of like an extra. It's nice to have, but it's definitely an extra. I'd rather have my brand and my logo, and then my brand down pat, and then the slogan can come. Because look at the businesses that we couldn't even think of their slogan. It didn't change how we felt about the business. It's just that we couldn't think of their slogan.
But notice that the one you do remember, what position are they in their industry? What position are they?
They're high up there. Yeah, they're one of the ones you think about. But is it because of? I mean, when they did start with their slogan,
I'm not,
and with their march,
I'm not saying it's because I'm not going to say it's because of their slogan, but the fact that they do have one, the fact that we can remember it, because I think I'm sure they all have a slogan, but the fact that they have one, that we remember it, that it's it's almost the same thing as a logo. It's simple, it's appropriate, it's memorable.
And you know what it does also? Just do it. It's like an incentive. Like, just work hard. Just do it. If you want it, you do it. So it leaves you with that feeling.
So okay. So that's a whole.
So they were effective with it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Matter of fact, that's a whole nother part of branding that we didn't really we didn't touch on. There's a part of brand where if you do it to the utmost, like when you're really successful at your brand, the people, your customers, then become your following. They become your hive. There was a point in time where people that were wearing like Nike, they bought into that, in particular athletes, right? Let's say that their niche is athletes, right? Because it actually is. Their niche is athletes. So athletes that did wear Nike at a particular time, they had that bravado that, that they bought into the whole Nike, zeitgeist almost, like that whole experience of Nike. They bought into that, right? Same thing for Under Armour. There was a particular point in time when Under Armour first came out, they were all about toughness and protection, and their slogan emulated that, right? It was parallel to that. It was something to the effect of protect this house. And then Under Armour had to do a little work in then transitioning into sneakers and all this other stuff. So that's probably why you don't hear the protect this house thing as much. But that's the thing about a slogan. At least a slogan is somewhat disposable, right? You can make particular edits to your slogan and still keep your brand, your logo, and then just adjust all these things accordingly, right?
Yeah.
So there it is. That was marketing versus branding. I guess we got about 5 minutes left. What should we cover with this last 5 minutes?
I have something for somebody who is starting out with starting their business, and they may not feel like they are strong in this area. When or how do they reach out to get help? When in their business should they reach out to work on it, and how? What are some pointers on how they can get help?
Help as far as their marketing and their branding?
Yeah. Yep. Say they need to hire somebody to help them.
I would say as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say as soon as possible. I would say how should I put this? I would say as soon as possible. Now, here's the thing. They might not necessarily, obviously there's going to be some constraints, right? Not everybody's going to have some huge budget to go hire some, Madison Avenue PR firm to set up their brand for them. But they do know when they decided to become an entrepreneur, when they decided that they were going to offer something to the market, right? At that point, that's immediately when they should start deciding, okay, if I'm going to offer something to the market, what then do I want the market to think about me? So you start small, you start simple, right? Just because you don't have the budget to go get a digital marketing person or to go get, like I said, some ad firm or whatever the case may be, start with what you can and just go all in on what you can, right? If you don't have a budget for advertising, go in on promotion. Find ways, this is where you got to start being creative about your publicity. About you don't have people to do public relations for you, then focus on sale. There's all these different aspects to marketing that if you can't do one, focus on the other, right? Okay. If you can't do any of them, then you got to think about whether or not you're prepared to do business, right? Like you got to think about that. Your business, there's got to be some sort of marketing element to your business, even if it comes down to word of mouth. Even if you're okay, let's put it this way: you're a kid, a 15-year-old kid with a lawnmower, and you go down the street and you knock on every single door that you can, right? Until you get a customer. So you're doing advertising and you're doing promotion. You're knocking on every single door. All right. You finally find a customer. Now that you that's a sale, right? You generated a sale. That sale, then you now should incentivize that customer to find you other customers. If in fact you did a good job for them, right? I cut your lawn. Are you happy with the way I cut your lawn? Great. Would you mind, I'll give you a discount the next time, or I'll cut your lawn for free if you find me another customer. Like, these are all ways that this kid didn't come out of pocket. This, in this example, at least, he didn't come out of pocket other than a lawnmower and walking down the street. That was his resources, his feet and his lawnmower. Right? So as a business owner, and he's a business owner, he's an entrepreneur, whether you scale that up into a guy that owns a laundromat or somebody that owns a moving business or whatever it might be, you start with, whatever promotion. You just basically start with whatever you can, where you are, right? If I decided, hey, I'm going to start a cleaning business, I'm not going to suddenly decide I'm going to go 50 miles west to start doing promotion. I'm going to do promotion right where I am.
Right. And I love how you said, then once you get that one satisfied customer, incentivize them to help you get more customers.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to say exactly how many deals you've got under your belt, but you've got plenty of deals under your belt. You've got quite a few, right? Yeah. You've got quite a few deals under your belt. Earlier, we talked about, hey, I need to figure out, or you were saying, I want people to know, I need to express to people that I have integrity and da-da-da-da. Anne-Marie, anybody can do that. You know what anybody can't do? Have other people say that for them.
Right.
Every one of those deals that you have under your belt should be people echoing, yes, Anne-Marie does this. So at the end of the day, what I'm talking about is testimonials. You should have testimonials on every touch point. Anytime somebody sees AI, REI, they should also see a testimonial.
Yep. And all right, so can you get I know a couple touch points. Like I can do it on Facebook, I can do it on my webpage, my website.
Business card.
What are some other touch points? Business card?
Literally
On there?
Anne-Marie, even when you speak to people, even if that's the touch point, even if you're in an elevator with somebody and you're talking to them and you're telling them about your business, give them a testimonial. You give them the testimonial that, hey, I served. Because you know what? Actually, Anne-Marie, every testimonial that I have for you, where did I get it from?
Me.
Done.
Every testimonial you have for me? Where did you
about
get it
your
from?
business. When I talked to you, when I said, hey, Anne-Marie, you've got integrity and you've got this and that, where did I get any of that from?
You tell me. Where'd you get it from?
I got it from you. You told me
when
the
we
stories.
would talk.
Yeah, no, but listen,
and stories and
right. But those are testimonials, right? So basically my point is, even if you're only talking to somebody, you can still give a testimonial on somebody else's behalf. You've done that.
Yeah. Hey, I've helped this person with, this situation, and and everything worked really well. And there was something I was going to say when you were saying, even in the elevator, I can't remember what it was.
Business cards, flyers.
Oh, business cards. I have my that scanning. What's it called? The where you can scan it with your phone.
QR code.
QR code.
QR. Yeah, I have that on the back of my business card now. I just got some new business cards, so that takes them right to my website. And then on my website, I have a section there where I have my testimonials. And so that's all good, but I need to go more steps past that. Like I need to make sure that I have one from every customer. There's 2 customers I don't have it from. And then I need to get them on my Facebook page. I need to also, get my Instagram page better. These are things that I'm going to do. I really do want to hire or get some help with this when I can, because for me to handle all that social media stuff, it's very time consuming, and that takes me away from the other parts of the business that I'm doing right now. But I know that there's a lot that I can really up with all that, and it's coming soon. So, it's definitely in my to-do list in my head.
As something important, right? Like, that alone. And imagine this. I can only imagine if you've gotten as far as you have in your business so far without all of these aspects. Like, what marketing is supposed to do is leverage what's already there.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine the scale that you'll grow to once your marketing machine starts kicking in and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's the top of the hour, guys. How'd we do?
Great. I loved it.
Well, yeah, it felt good. Really nailed in how to, really build your branding and, your reputation. And we also went over, reputation doesn't matter, or your slogan doesn't matter without your reputation. So logo, is very important. Put some effort into your logo and, go out there and crush it.
That's what it is. Go out there and crush it. I love it.
Yep. All right.
Just real quick, if anybody listens to this, where can they find you, Anne-Marie? You talked about AI, REI. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook. That would be the main place right now, on Facebook.
What they do? Search AI, REI on Facebook?
AI Real Estate Investing.
AI Real Estate Investings on Facebook.
And they can also get to it from my personal page, Anne-Marie Iorio. My link for my business page is on my personal page also.
Cool. What about you, Jalil? Where can they find somebody needs a mover or a cleaning business or anything else? Those aren't even just the 2 only businesses you got.
Yeah, they could find me on, I believe, I don't want to botch it. I know it's Moving Syndicate on IG and Routine Cleaning and Sanitation on IG.
Okay, that's what's up. So This is Jules. We signing out. We're landing this plane. This was Marketing versus Branding, Ask Me Anything session, brought to you by Entrepreneur Empire. Check us out, follow us, all that good stuff.
All right, where can they find you, Jules?
They can find me on nowhere.
We got to work on that.
We do gotta work on that. Right now, I'm mostly for hire. I'm basically, since I'm working the 9 to 5, most of my focus goes into that. But very, very soon, I'm gonna give them someplace to find me.
All right, up and coming.
Up and coming, yeah, very. Because we'll get into it. But hopefully this was useful to everybody. Yeah, see you next week. We're gonna be here next week. Next Monday, 8 to 9.
8 to 9. See you there.
See you guys.
See you then.
Bye-bye.